There we go. Happy to see you. So happy to see you all. I'm going to start with gratitudes right off the bat because I feel like, you know what, as people come in, there's nothing better than hearing when other people are grateful for something. So who's got something to be thankful for today?
I'll start.
Thank you.
I'm always over in the corner over here, so just because of the way the camera's set up. But first of all, today's my mom's birthday, so I'm very grateful for that. She's 73. But my amazing nephew, Jacob, who is on this call, got his real estate license last week and just signed up. Hi, Jake, with Real, and I'm so excited.
Oh, very cool. Well, happy to have you here.
Welcome,
congratulations. Jake. You made a good choice. We're very excited. I mean, just ask, where's Jeff in his shirt? Come on, give us the big model. There we go.
There it is. It's backwards, but yes.
Not for us. It's straight. It's correct for us, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, even better.
Nice. Well, Jake, congratulations. Velma and Ken, congratulations. Good things ahead for all of you. Very happy to have that all happen and come together for you.
Just so excited for him on this new journey. And I know he's just going to love the Monday morning Lions and Legends calls. And as much as we have, and we're just super, super excited to see how this goes. And yeah, so pretty cool. So thanks, Kim.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to have you. This, Jake, just so you know, this is a community that you can get connected to pretty easily. And there is, well, I'm just fast looking. There's probably over at least 150 years of experience, if not more, on just what I'm seeing in the screen. So, yeah, you're in good hands. Very excited for you for that. Congratulations and welcome to Lions and Legends. Perfect. Okay. Anybody else? That was excellent, Velma. Thank you. Okay, well, while you guys are working on, Andrew, were you going to talk? I'm sure you were.
I'm just thankful to be back in the saddle again, back at work. Took a slight detour for a couple of weeks and back feeling awesome.
Not because he had a vacation. Yeah. My gratitude is around life and limb for sure. Super grateful for my health and things. A lot of you, probably none of you, know really about what I've been working on since middle of March. And the last couple of months, I've been able to turn things completely around physically. I had an issue with hives, and that just means there's something weird on the inside that's manifesting on the outside, and lived pretty much every day with a minimum of at least 100 hives, big ones, raised on my skin everywhere, insane. And finally went to an allergist. I did all of that kind of stuff. And you know that I'm not a big fan of Western medicine. So I finally was like, I need more. And then when that was not effective for me, I did a super deep dive into more natural methods. And I'm happy to tell you that I am good to go and have been pretty much hive free for like the last 6 weeks. And I started seeing a really good naturopath. She's the naturopath that naturopaths and Western medicine doctors go to when they can't find a solution for their patients. So she's pretty impressive. And we wanted a baseline start. So we did all my blood work, and I got back my results from her the other day. And I'm going to brag because I did a lot of work on this. And her response to me was, just got your blood labs back and they look great. Your results are pretty close to perfect. Nice job. So I have taken my whole immune system and just like completely doubled down, and I feel great about it. I'm in the process of doing a liver cleanse right now so that we can get all the way together. But I'm super grateful. When you go through something icky, you realize how valuable your actual health and feeling good is. And if you're on a slow decline, you might not even realize that you don't feel good. And so I'm just going to encourage people to pay attention. I think there are several people on this call. I know your little faces and I know you've been through some things. So I know that you probably share that sentiment. So I'm super grateful for my health. I'm super grateful to be home from Orlando. Happy to have spent some time there with our agents across the nation, and our leadership was good. We'll share more about that today. Ty, Andrea, and myself are going to talk through kind of what happened at Rise. And so we'll give you kind of a little update on that in just a second. So, all right, who else is grateful?
I was so grateful to break bread with you the last night I was there on Tuesday in Orlando. And just the idea that all these different people were able to come together and celebrate life and appreciate and all that you've done to help grow us as people in the organization. So it was nice to celebrate, kind of that camaraderie, if you will. It was an amazing evening. And those desserts, oh boy.
I know I have pictures to prove the dessert.
Everybody had video around the whole table. It was so
Yeah,
funny.
it's pretty, it is like something you've just never seen. The dessert is called the cloud, right? I'll see if I can find it and show it really fast because it was pretty unbelievable. It's all in my pictures from Rise, so I'll have to go back. But while someone else is sharing, I will look for it. And Ty, it was a pleasure to be with you. I'm so glad you were able to get there. So it worked out great.
Loved it. Thank you.
I'm going to share for Andy.
Good job, Cheryl.
Because I feel like he should be grateful. He got a new knee. Let's see, September 18th, and turned our household upside down for about 8 weeks, where it was single parenting and all that fun stuff. 7 weeks, I'm sorry. But I think that both of us are grateful that he has come this far already. And that's why we weren't at Rise this year, because he refused to get a motorized cart, which I was 100% supportive of.
Oh my gosh, we could have totally used that.
I mean, when we went to the Zillow one in 2000, what was it, Andy? What year? When I got my knee surgery? I got a motorized cart. I was competing against other people with motorized carts. I had high hopes for this Rise trip. And he refused to do it. So we canceled and sold our tickets. Unfortunately, is our first Rise we missed. So I'm excited to get updated on it. And we are back in motion, a lot of momentum going, and it's good.
Awesome. Also grateful for you and your willingness to, carry the load. And I'm sure Andy is extremely grateful, and I'm sure he's probably already expressed it, but we're just going to put you on the spot. Go for it, Andy.
Yes, she's she kind of held the fort down while I sat around bored out of my mind watching Netflix and working off a 13-inch laptop. So it was first couple of weeks, not a lot of fun, but we're getting better every day. So that's the win. Bummed we didn't get to go though. Always have a good time down or at Rise, wherever it may be.
That's true. So as a Netflix person, what things should what's the top list of things we shouldn't miss since you've seen everything now?
Cheryl, what do you got? I'm trying to think if anything, it was a blur. That was a month ago. So I've not watched a lot of TV since then because I got really tired of it real quick.
No kidding. Well, if you think of it, throw stuff in the chat so that we all have something to watch when something makes us have to stay at home. That's awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy you're better. Happy you're on the mend. That's good news. Anybody else grateful for anything?
I'll go.
Do it.
I am grateful for my awesome daughter. So we had a daddy-daughter date yesterday and went and hung out. She loves going to Bass Pro. So it's like, let's go to Bass Pro. We went to Famous Dave's, had a nice little lunch, and Santa was there at Bass Pro. And so she's 17 going on 18. I'm over the hill.
You're not 18? What?
No, I've got an 8 in the number coming up, but anyway, it was just they're like, hey, you want a free picture? Because there was like nobody in line, so we went and got a picture with Santa, and she thought that was pretty special. So she's the one that does my, I don't know if you can see the sign in the back. She does my artwork. So I thought she was going to skip straight to Christmas, but we did get Thanksgiving. So
there we go. Love it.
But yeah, just love our kids, but just special time with my daughter. So
that's awesome. Good times. I love that. Anyone else? I'm going to give you the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in a second.
I'm grateful to be sitting while I'm on Lions and Legends. I'm up in Park City, Utah. I flew in a day early. I'm teaching exactly what to say to a brokerage up here, but I flew in a day early to have dinner with just a really great friend who I haven't seen in about 6 months, who lives up here. And so just grateful to reconnect with old friends and have some really, really cold weather. I had to wear a ski parka when I went to work out this morning.
Wow. So jealous. I don't know if you can see the sunshine or not over here, but we're not suffering like you are, sadly.
It'll be 50 this afternoon. So Matt's flying in. So we're going to co-teach together. So it's going to be fun. So, but super grateful for the opportunity to be up here and to teach and to learn. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. 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 Well, thank you. Anyone else?
I am grateful to see Andrew Monahan's smiling face on the call this morning after his little health scare, if you guys didn't know last week.
Yes,
So
sir.
was not super happy to hear about that through the grapevine, Mr. Andrews. So he got a 2 a.m. voice note from me on Tuesday morning, just wondering how the hell he was. And I think I started out with, listen, fucker.
And now I
Only
want
because
to
I love
know
you.
Edmund.
Yes, we are
So.
super grateful. Same.
What happened?
Okay. Andrew, I think that's a question for you.
I'm just thankful for the people that's around. I had 2 weeks ago today, I was working out and I just felt a little bit shortness of breath. Turned into be 2 stints and 4 days in the hospital and a heart attack. I wasn't feeling any pain. I was oblivious to a whole bunch of different things. So for all of us out on the page, because some of us are starting to assume, well, I thought it was bulletproof. Get yourself checked out. It's heart disease it's silent. And I'm just blessed and thankful for the people that's in the world. And just watching, it's a weird situation when you're turning over your power of attorney to your daughter, who's 23, and taking it and running with it and making sure that everything's happening. So I'm extremely, extremely thankful and blessed and grateful for everything that's out there. Get yourself looked after.
So
Yep.
glad you're okay, Andrew.
Right. You're one of our people. You can't do these things and you don't go through these things alone. That's not how we do this. Right? This is the point of this community, is that we know each other, we can take care of each other, we can help each other in business and in life. It's the same thing. We can't separate them, right? So thankful. Okay, anyone else? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's move on. A couple of things that I want to share with you really fast. I talked last week a little bit about something that Raquel Canet and I are getting ready to launch. We are going to probably be, I don't even know the dates. Today's the 10th. We are likely to launch this before the end of the month. Let's put it that way. Probably before Thanksgiving. We have a couple of little bugs we want to work out before it happens, but it's really something designed for people in their careers who have built a business, but have only been able to take it so far, but don't want to join a team. They don't want to give up that kind of autonomy and freedom in their own business. So it's not necessarily for brand new licensees. It can be, and we can make that work, but it is really for people who've just been kind of doing the same thing over and over, but not really getting to grow their business to scale so that they can still remain a solo agent. I think there's a really big need for that. And so Raquel and I have had that burden on our hearts for quite a while. And we are working to get our platform that we have rolled out. So just kind of know it's there. I'm not going to talk a lot about it right now because I will take a session to talk about it. More, I'll have Raquel come on and we'll kind of walk through it with people, just so that it can be used for you also. Even if that doesn't apply to you, it can be used for you as part of your attraction conversations for people who are looking for something but don't quite know where they fit. We want people to fit. We want there to be community. And so Steve Valentine is going to be a piece of that for us, so that we can help make sure that our agents have a very well-rounded professional scope of what they can do and how to do it. And so just kind of know that there's there's a lot of us working in the background because we love you and we care about you and we want good things for your business and we want to grow and build a strong, healthy community. And so you're part of that. You're part of like the foundation of that, particularly for me and how we're showing up as a collective. And so I'm very excited about it. So more details to come in the next couple of weeks. Every week I'll give you just a little bit more, so you'll know more as we get closer and closer. And then I want to pass the mic to Ty because he's got some community stuff for us that we want to participate in. So I'm going to let him share real quickly, and then we'll get on. Maybe.
Whenever I always have an unstable connection with you, I feel like we should be stabilized.
I know.
We're talking about the Real Day of Service, coming up on December the 2nd. So this is a really cool opportunity for us just to give back, show support for community. And we try to make it as simple as we could this year by choosing 5 locations around the valley that you can choose from either by location or by cause. And we've had a pretty decent response to some of the projects and a lot less response to others. Those little piggies need our help for sure. I posted the link. Now they're so cute. I posted the link in the chat, but it's just a morning that we're going to spend from 9 to noon. And these places either have work that they need to have done that morning, or some need some drives leading up to them. We have leaders for each of the groups that are organizing everybody. But I just really encourage you for us to show up strong. I've done these in passive brokerages, and it was nothing to get 115 people to one location to do an extreme makeover in a day. And we've got about, 40 or so that have signed up so far from all of Real and the Valley. So we've got it in Tucson, 5 Valley locations as well. And so I just really encourage everybody to choose which location makes the most sense for you and come and donate a few hours or a couple hours or whatever you can do on Tuesday, December the 2nd. But it's a nationwide event within Real Brokerage that will allow everybody to kind of do something that matters, at least for the morning. And so go on there, check it out, and sign up, spread the word if you don't mind, get your people involved, your team involved, everybody in your organization involved the best you can. And let's go make a big difference. It's going to be exciting.
That's awesome. Considering that we are a virtual brokerage, it's opportunities like this that we also win. I know that we're going to serve others, but there's a lot of gratification in being connected physically to one another. Part of Orlando, the best part for me was actually just hanging out with our people, right? Getting to spend time together, eyeball to eyeball. So I really want to encourage you, if you are in town and available on December 2nd, to make that a priority. The link is there. Like he said, please feel free to share it with people that you have on your team or other agents that you know, or people that you're interested in bringing to Real. This is a good opportunity for them to see what our culture looks like in action. So feel free to use that. I don't think we can ever have too many volunteers for any of these things. So I think good things will come that day. All right. Thank you, Ty. I'm going to move quickly now, kind of quickly, to Rise. And let's see, it's 20 after. Okay. There's a lot of good things. I have the slides that Tamir showed. Tamir, first of all, let me just go back and say something briefly, and I'll ask you guys who were there to share your thoughts on this also. But I think that every year that we age as a company, our events get better and better. And usually there's like, oh, this is incrementally better than last year. That was great. I feel like this year was exponentially and more dramatically better than the last one. And the last one was actually pretty good. So this one was just stellar. I thought they did a really, really good job of the programming of it. I'm thankful that I went, and I'm thankful that the content was really good. The structure of the event was terrific. Our keynote speaker was off the charts. Very impactful. So a lot of good business meeting stuff, a lot of good marketing meeting stuff, a lot of good things to know about what Leo can do for you. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Jason Pantana was one of the speakers, and he did a great job. Andrew is going to talk about him because we're going to show you some of the tools that Lawyers offers that connectivity to that can help support you based on what you're doing with Jason's information. So we're just kind of try to weave this all together. There is no PowerPoint, but what I do have is I was able to get the slides from Tamir's presentation. As you know, Tamir Poleg is our CEO and founder, and he opens and closes every Rise event. And so he opened with kind of a state of the market scenario and gave people some really good information and helped you understand what's happening in the market, and then gave you a bit of a projection. So I have those slides. Karen will put them, if we can, we're going to put them in the chat here, but we will also post them in the Lions and Legends Facebook page. So if you are not part of that and want access to that, go for it. Oh, she shared the file in the meeting. Awesome. Thank you, Karen. You're awesome. And it will be when we post this, we'll put it also in there in the Facebook page so that you can have access. So I'm not going to talk a lot about what Tamir showed, because it's a lot of stats and that's just hard to convey in conversation. But I will give you an overview, and I think it's probably stuck with all of us. And that was, he was talking about, the profitability of real estate brokerages and where they were and where they are. And then he compared it to other industries where they have been and what they look like and what's a reasonable profit margin to expect. And so his big, how many of you think that owning a brokerage is profitable? Yeah. How many of you know that it's not? That's probably the better question, right? We can all nod our heads. We can all say that. Yeah. Some of us have been there, and the rest of us have watched it, right? So 10 years ago, he showed the stat of Remax. He just chose Remax because it's a global brand, not because he has anything for or against that, but he just said, hey, listen, this is what it was. And about 15 years ago, they were showing at about a 2% profit margin. In the course of time from then until now, we are looking at 0 to minus 2% profitability. So you can see how time has, more information is out there, more people have access to information. More companies are spending more and more money trying to attract agents with tools that agents don't use. We know that to be true, right? And so we're just watching these profitability margins just drop and drop and drop. And one of the things that he compared it to was like a construction company, right? Builders, they're sitting at maybe 1% margin. Restaurant ownership is, for a well-run restaurant, is between 4 to 6% profit margin. That was by far the largest margin, the largest profit margin out there in the industries that he compared. Steve and Ty, you guys were there also. If there's some things you want to throw in about what they were sharing, I'd love for you to add that, because it was notably, historically, people say never start a restaurant. It's a failing business. You're going to lose money like crazy. And yet that's the largest delta spread for profit in all of these industries that Tamir shared. So it was interesting to see how we are not winning as an industry, and yet all the ones that everyone said would fail are doing better. Steve, Ty, anything?
Well, I mean, it amazes me how there can be venture capital money behind a model, a kind of an outdated model, if you will. And most of the reasons because they have brick and mortar. I mean, you see this happening with Remax, with Keller Williams. I mean, these companies that have such high overhead, that's what's killing them. And then I was in this mastermind for $50 to $100 million producers. And my table, and Steve was in the same one. My table was interesting because they were talking about profitability. We had a team at our table that last year did a 1.4 billion in volume, a team in Southern California. And then there were other teams that were in that 50, 80, but they were talking about profitability within teams. Forget about brokerages, right? I think we all have the point of that.
Right.
But it became this conversation of like, what's the sweet spot of a team size where your overhead justifies the revenue from producing agents, and how many producing agents do you need to be profitable in the small to mid-size to large team model? Definitely more possible in that, depending on how active the team leader wants to be in the organization from a production standpoint. And then how much more expensive it is if somebody truly wants to be a 7th level or out of production. Like, I think people underestimate how many people you need in production and what your overhead and staff have to be to accommodate that goal.
Right. Right. It's true.
Most of them were like, I'm trying to decide whether to just ride off in the sunset and call it a win or try to keep building it. And most of the people at my table, at least, weren't like, I want to take this thing to 50 agents or 100 agents. They're like 7 to 10 agents. It seems to be the sweet spot if you have a team. If at least 3/4 of those agents are producing, that's like the most profitable size, it seems like. But that's also with a team lead in production, doing a healthy number of transactions per year. So that was what I learned or feedback I got from my mastermind in regards to team profitability versus, what we were talking about, which is brokerage profitability.
Yeah. Truth. True.
I think a lot of the conversations that I've heard from, different friends that own different brokerages and then listening to that conversation is understanding that, unfortunately, the real estate agent and the model is really very low profitability without some ancillary benefits, right? Which is where real comes into play, which is the other dripping faucets to fill a bucket. And it's understanding that in our careers, if we will take the real estate license as the opportunity that it is to learn and grow with it and see what other opportunities there are to invest in it and expand on it in order to provide other services. And it doesn't have to be this massive scale. And I think that it's the same conversation I have with my kids all the time. It's like, look, stop looking at the guys that are claiming to make millions of dollars a month on these things. What does an ancillary benefit or company or referral system, how does it change your life in $2,000 to $3,000 a month? Right. And it's these little things that we can do to add to our business, but we're so focused on where does the next transaction come from? And that's the only way to produce income, rather than where is the next opportunity to create more profitability in other ways. More so in the deeper the relationships, the more the opportunities present themselves.
Yeah. It's a really good point, right? It's trying to, and I think that's the model that Real is following, right? We're looking at, hey, here's this platform, and then here's all of these tools that can be profit centers for the agent and the company. And that's a good way for us to kind of like move right into the wallet for a second for what has been launched in the wallet. So any other thoughts about profitability that you guys care about? We'll send you that slide deck so you can kind of go through and get more of the grit, but that's essentially it. He's very aware that the market's been really tough for agents. That is not lost on him. And so I think, he talks about, we think we're in a little rough spot still for another about 6 to 9 months, and then we should start to see a slow creep out. That's what the economists are saying. We had a economist, was it from, I want to say Bright House, but that's from Kelly's World, Bright something. Do you guys remember where she was from?
It was the MLS on the East Coast, Bright MLS, whatever.
Bright Home or Bright, yeah, something like that. Yeah. And she kind of shared she kind of echoed what he said. There's a lot of stuff happening, but we see things as there is hope on the horizon. So just keep going. But the ancillary services and benefits are things that can give us a really good supporting foundation, right? So working those pieces so that the other one can catch up. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. By the way, when we talk about mortgage and title, when we talk about those affiliated services, I don't know that Bud's on the call, but Kristen's on the call and Melanie's on the call. And Bud Gregg won an award company-wide as the #1 loan originator in the company. And so if you have questions, there he is.
There he
I see
is.
his little face.
Thank you,
He
baby.
looks
Thank you very
Kristen.
much.
That's cute. Yeah, so congratulations to you. It's a big deal, right? Is starting to build these other ancillary services that Real is providing for the purposes of a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So if you're profitable and that's helping the agent, it's also helping the company, right? And it's helping the client. So congratulations, Bud. I was very excited to see your little name pop up there, and I heard them shout you out. And so it was very fun. We're sad you weren't there to get it yourself, but you know,
Likewise,
we-
super sorry I missed out.
we cheered. So yeah, I mean, these are legitimate profit centers for you, right? Additional revenue opportunities. I'm going to move to Real Wallet real quickly because there's some pretty crazy things that were rolled out in Real Wallet. First of all, do all of you have Real Wallet yet? Okay. If you don't have it, I would just recommend you get it, because this is another one of those things for doing what you already do. You're going to win extra, right? So if you don't have your Real card yet and you haven't activated your wallet yet, I would highly recommend you do that. Just for closing business, you get points. The more points you accumulate, the more status you have. The higher your status, the more money you have that converts to actual money to pay things like fees. There is a way. I think they had one guy on stage that already has paid his cap with his points. So he works for free at Real, right? So the more he closes, the more he can continue to pay his own fees through Real Wallet, not through his own cash. And what is important about Real Wallet? Let me just give you that really quickly. Real Wallet, to start with, is a debit card. It's just a savings account. That's all you need to understand. As soon as your transactions get settled inside the company, they push this little magic button and your pay is automatically on your debit card for instant use. So if you want to move it to your Wells Fargo or Bank of America or wherever you bank, Chase, you can do that, and it's whatever the internal process is for your bank determines how long. I move money from Real to my Wells Fargo account, takes a day. It's no big deal. But if I leave money on my Real card, it's a debit card, and I buy my gas and I buy my groceries, which I'm going to buy anyway, Real is paid from the merchant, right? So when you get a little thing that said, when you go to get gas, sometimes it'll say 35 cents will be added as a merchant fee, right? Because your gas station doesn't want to pay the merchant fee. So they're sucking that from you, whatever. But when you go to a restaurant and you are using your debit card, or you go to the grocery store, or you go to the movies, anytime you're using your debit card, a merchant is paying for the ability to take money from your account. They're paying the company that owns the card. That would be Real. Okay. Didn't cost you anything. You bought coffee, paid your $7 for a little teeny cup of coffee, and Starbucks had to pay Real to take your money. That's how this works. If you don't know how merchant fees work and how money moves. Well, what happens is, regardless of the status of the real estate market, by using your card, you are giving an opportunity for Real to make a profit. Are we clear on that? It's not connected to your sales. It's connected to your lifestyle. Real in turn comes back and says, hey, here you go. We're going to give you points for using the card, because if we win, you should win. So you can use your points from using your wallet to pay down any of your fees at Real. So that's number one. You can have a tax savings account. So for those of you who struggle with being shocked every year that you have to pay taxes and you had no idea it was coming, and here's this monumental amount, you can set up inside the wallet, hey, a percentage of every check. Oh, I don't know, 15, 20%, 5%, 30%, whatever your tax world looks like, of your every paycheck can just get allocated to that account. Truth, you have access to it. So if you want to play yourself dirty, you can take that money out and use it when you need it. But the real truth is that tax account is sitting there, and then your other monies that you get paid go into your regular wallet. Then you can transfer them out or leave them there. So just so you know that sits there. The use of those things gives you points. When you have points, you pay down fee structures, transaction fee, whatever. You can opt in to use your points for wherever you want them in your transaction and the back end of real. So those are two pieces. The third piece is everything. I think everybody in here is US. I don't see anybody here from Canada right now. Let me swing. Nope. All right. So all of you US people, we all have access to a line of credit. They made it very clear that when you need to get a loan for something, it's very difficult for lenders to really understand how the real estate people earn our money, right? When they ask you for your last 2 pay stubs, you have to show them a commission check because you don't have an ongoing pay stub like a regular employee somewhere. If you are your LLC or PLLC, you can create those in your own. It's craziness. The truth is, Real understands it with our Real stock and with profit sharing and what they understand about your typical production. You have been given an allotment of liquidity that you can access instantly. You can go on, it's 2 minutes or so to fill out the paperwork, and you can have that money deposited into your Real wallet. You obviously have to pay it back. It's not free money, and there are fees connected to it. But if you are trying to avoid this peaks and valleys thing in your income, and you know, I have 4 things closing next month and nothing this month, but I am cash poor, that's an opportunity for you to go in and stabilize your household income, right? If you see an opportunity to buy a fix and flip or an income producing property or something like that, you can get your, like, if I look at my wallet, first, I feel like I need to digress. This is what, can you see that on, where's the camera on here? Up
We
here.
can see it.
Okay, that's the dessert. That's the dessert on fire in a second. There you go.
These guys had serious fire issues.
It was insane. Why is that? Oh, can you see?
We can't see it, Kim. You got to put it in front of the camera.
Oh, there we go. Well, the camera's sideways. I think the camera's over here, not on top. There we go. There, it's burning down. I know I digress. This is my ADHD engaged, but before I go to something else, I just wanted to show you the cool dessert that Ty was very excited about. All right, I was going to show you my Real wallet now that everybody wants a snack. When I look at my Real wallet, it tells me, let's go. It gives me all my stats about my, how much stock I have, how much cash is on my card, and then what my upcoming revenue pending payment is. And then if I say capital, I have $194,000, which seems ludicrous to me. I don't understand that. I don't know how that happens. But I could buy a house on my Real credit card if I find one in Arkansas, I think. But my point is, it's real money. If I needed to pay off something or I needed that support for whatever, I have access to that. It is collateralized against your future earnings, against your stock portfolio, and your revenue share, right? So it's pretty safe for them to do this, but it's proof that they really understand our business. So I want to make sure you guys really understand that they rolled out all of the point structure. So you'll start to see things in your wallet and go, oh, I'm gaining status. I think they said that next month they are giving every agent across the board 2,500 points. And I think that gets you at least 2 bronze status. Anything else you guys want to add about the wallet that I missed?
It's just learning to gamify the system with the tools that they gave us. A little bit at a time, whether you're using revenue share or you think about, Kim could go out and buy a Lamborghini and write it off, right, this year type thing. She won't, right? But it's what we have the power to do. I equate it into some of the investments that we have rolling in whole life policies and funding different things. And so you start to look at what's there and what opportunities they're giving you. It's not about the next boat or the next toy. It's where else can you put things to work with the opportunities that you have in front of you in order to create more wealth and more longevity while we're continuing to work on the active income. They're just giving us more ways to turn the faucet on, and we just have to take the time to understand it and see how it works so that we can play the game.
Yeah. And if you need help understanding some of that, you guys reach out. I'm happy to talk you through like some strategies where you can access that money, which is good for you, your personal finances, good for your investment opportunities, etc. So happy to help support that. Okay, I'm going to move to Leo because I feel like this is where it starts to get a little crazy. We are, what time is it? 10:39. We'll have to move quicker because I want Andrea to be able to share some of the stuff that she has from Jason. Leo, for those of you who remember, Leo is our AI little individual. I'm going to just refer to him as he, even though I know he's not a real person. I'm not delusional, but he, what he can do for you, right? Last year they launched Leo Copilot, which now helps review your contracts, is your source of support. You can ask Leo for things. Leo has been leveled up again in the support area. So there are fewer and fewer calls being managed by support, and more things are being managed through our AI. If Leo cannot answer it, he will, I did it this morning, he will call support for you and connect you with a support person. So you're still going to be able to get that one-on-one support if AI is insufficient. But it is getting smarter and smarter as we go. This year, they launched Leo Companion. And I'm hoping Ty took better notes than I did because I'm not so much in production. But I'm going to give you the overview of Leo Companion. It is live and has the capacity now. And by the way, if you ask Leo to give you the instructions on what happened at Rise, what was launched at Rise, and how can you launch it and initiate it, you can get a step-by-step description of everything that needs to happen. So I'm going to give you the high points. You go do the work and make it happen. But ultimately, you can now take all of your leads that you have accumulated and dump them into Leo, and Leo will nurture them 24/7. You will have access to the communication. So I'm going to stop right there because that's a game changer. For those of us that understand that consistency wins the game, and we're losing the game at every second because we're not consistent, it is little drops of consistency are better than 2 days worth of hardcore hitting work every 6 months. Can we agree on that part? So what if you have something that's working in the background and can nurture and can pay attention to what's happening with each of your leads, and then notifying you of a communication and conversation that it's having so that you can jump in at any time or you can leave it there? What would happen if just consistent action was being taken with every lead? Beyond your CRM, this is not a CRM replacement. You're still going to send your own CRM stuff, but this is just next level layering. I think there could be some pretty amazing things. I actually have a ton of leads. The way that I work real estate now is by referral. And so I get referrals and I work them to make sure that people are active. And I'm not doing very much personal production anymore at all. But I have a whole bunch of leads and I'm like, gosh, I'll bet you if they were nurtured, there's business in there. I'll bet you there's a lot of business in there. I bet you there's a lot of people that I could feed things to help them and just receive a referral fee, keep them active where they're still gaining income and being able to be the best agent they can, even if they're not great at lead generation and conversion. But if we could all be better at conversion, wouldn't that just be something? Wouldn't that change our profitability when we're talking about what our profitability looks like? So, Ty or Steve, do you want to share more about what you heard through all of that? I mean, I think those are the high points, but
yeah, I mean, some of the notes I had down, I like the consultation interface. So you basically record your own voice that then will be able to take you through kind of a consultation with clients directly, either in a pre-selected format as almost like your assistant, or in your own voice, creating this kind of buyer consultation. And then one of the things I thought was kind of interesting was that Real's about to pay for every minute of conversation you have, just so they can get the test data to make the system stronger. So they're going to basically pay you for conversations you have through Hey Leo with potential clients, with maybe your VIP clients. I'm guessing most likely people that you haven't done business with yet, but maybe they're in your CRM or they're prospective buyers that might be 3 months or 6 months or 9 months, either through your conversations directly or through automated conversations with, hey, Leo, using your voice. Every minute of conversation you can create with that person is going to be reimbursed to you financially for the data of how to make it better, is the way I understood it.
Yep, you're not wrong. And by the way, what I didn't say was that Leo is now the companions are all voice activated. So your client can have a voice conversation. This is for the client side, can have a voice conversation with your Leo, whoever you are. Can, like to Ty's point, it can be your own voice or it can be an assistant. And it has presumptive analytics. So when you say, when your client says, I'm looking for a house in this general area and I'd like to know about schools, it'll say, well, how old are your children? What age, what grades are they in? Like it's assuming some things based on the information that your client is speaking, things that you're not even asking the questions on necessarily, because it's gathering all this data. By the time they're done with the conversation, they know they want a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, they need a pool, and they need to be close to this school because it's excellent for that child. And that's the summary that you get when you start getting connected with the client. And here's 3 houses that I think might work really well for you. Please tell me what you think about them. Then the consumer looks at them and says, well, I like number 1, I don't like number 2, and I like number 3. Great. Would you like me to make appointments for you to see 1 and 3? I'm going to have Cheryl call you and schedule 3 appointments or these 2 appointments for you. That's the level of conversion that's happening. You don't have to feel squirrely about asking all these questions. You don't have to be invasive. You can talk through like what their financial situation is. Your little happy AI can be doing all of this work for you 24/7. So if you, like me, used to get phone calls or text messages or activity at 2:30 in the morning, and you're like, it serves you right that I should call you at 6 a.m. since you're calling me at 2:30. But you know what? Your AI assistant can have these conversations at 2:30 in the morning. So if you have people who are working the night shift, right, or insomniacs, and they need some information now, it also, I think, is going to reduce the number of web surfing they'll do. When they're on yours and they're getting the information they need, there's no reason to go see if they can find it on someone else's. And so this is really, really powerful. Steve, do you have something you want to add to it?
Yeah, we spent some time with for those of you that are more the integrators on the call, the one thing that I worried about was it being sucked into Leo and how does it come back out and where do we take over the conversation? And so there is an API key that works with Leo to bring that information into Follow Up Boss or whatever CRM you're using inside it. So I think it's really important to look at the technology and see where it works and where it can start nurturing, because what it is and is the presumption is it's going through and it's learning and it's also creating a database of these clients, their kids, their family. It's asking all these questions and it's starting to keep up so that you can in one click go give me a recap on this person, so when I get on the phone you can ask the right questions. It really reminded me of who was it? I'm going to botch this. I think it was Rockefeller that just had this ridiculous Rolodex, right? He was always writing notes like kids, dogs, different things. And he always seemed to know who it was. And it's because he would pull that card out before he went to a meeting with them and would just constantly active listen. And so, and this is the new way of active listening and really building that database. And it's fun to look at and go, okay, cool. It's now keeping track of my clients as they're growing and we're along for this journey. And then guess what? You start to realize that you can send it out to scrub some more information, like keeping up with them and seeing what's happening. So I just think it's interesting to learn because I think it'll strengthen your relationships with clients and actually get them to go deeper rather than trying to do more work and get it to go wider.
Yeah. I had a conversation with some people who have a team of about 70 agents in Las Vegas. And I know how they do lead generation. I understand their process. So I stopped them and I said, hey, talk to me about what you think this is going to do for your business. And it's 2 partners. And they're both like, we are going to go all in to have Leo manage all of the leads so that we have the top of the funnel, right? and ending up with converted leads at the bottom that is helping their agents then be able to actually be real estate agents, not necessarily lead generators or lead converters. And so they're changing everything about how they're building they're acquiring their leads and then how they're nurturing. A lot less team involvement, a lot more AI with Leo.
So when
Andy?
you got a new lead that comes in, it goes into FUB. Is this, because there's obviously some systems out there that are doing calls and things already. Is this reaching out to the new leads like instantly, or do you have to prompt them? How does that work? And with a
I
full
think you
database
get
as
to
well?
set it up how you want it to integrate. I think it allows you to walk through it so that it's doing what you want it to do versus just it taking over. You get to set that up. I mean, the demo that they showed was pretty stinking impressive. And when I asked Leo to give me the dot by dot, bullet point by bullet point instructions, I was like, oh, do you want to do this or do you want to do it that way? If you want to do this, let's do this. If you want to do it that way, let's do that. So it was pretty awesome. I mean, just spend some time with Leo, and it's live right now because I wasn't certain when it was coming live, but it is live right now.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
does this, because there's new rules and regs or revelations from FUB that Zillow's now got access to, whatever. Is this something that we can actually finally have a CRM that's within our own company that works?
It's not truly a CRM. So when I talked to Pratesh about this, Pratesh just basically said, I'd quit using a CRM altogether. And I just let Leo do it, working it from a Google spreadsheet. And Leo is a better chance of conversion than your CRMs. That is coming from someone who's never actually done this business. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. It's not a contact management system, but it is a consumer connective system. And so I think as the more we start using Leo, the more we will understand individually whether or not we should be actively in a CRM still. I don't know what the capacity will be for AI, I mean, for Leo, in terms of storage. Right now, it's fine for what everybody has, but if we grow to be, 100,000 agents, that's a really big promise and commitment. So I don't know that answer yet, but I think it'll be interesting for us to learn it.
Hey, Kim, I'll chime in on that. I think the interesting thing that I talked to Steven about, who's our integrator, was taking something like Leo, because if I recall, we'll all be issued a QR code and a phone number
Correct.
that's per agent, right?
Yep.
So in starting that, think of it as a way to generate a new source of leads through maybe a Facebook funnel, maybe some of the funnels that you guys do, and testing it to see how many people will bring into that funnel and nurture along until you can pull it into your own system. So I would just look at it as a offshoot and how you want to place it to bring people in to nurture it and then bring it into your system.
Yeah, I mean, it's really impressive, and I know I'm doing a poor job of fully explaining it. But I would encourage you to get into your app and go to Leo and ask some questions around it, because I think I think it's really impressive, and I think the deeper we go, the faster we go with it. I think we'll be able to help get that data so that if there are things that we need to shift or tweak, development is wide open to that. So it's pretty awesome, actually. Okay, any other thoughts? And did I miss anything important, Steve or Ty, before we go to Andrea real quick for the last 10 minutes of this?
The only other stats I was kind of blown away by, or surprised, I guess maybe, is you talked about affordability being the lowest in over 50 years for homeowner affordability. 50 years since it's been less affordable than it is now.
Right.
And then the other thing that I thought was really interesting, the median age of homebuyers is 56 years old, and the average age of a first-time homebuyer, 38 years old. So who are the demographics that you're going after? Because this is who's buying houses. I just thought it was interesting. Median 56-year-old for somebody who's buying a home, and first time at 38 years old. That kind of shocked me.
taking a lot longer to get launched. The economics are goofy, aren't they? It's tough. And was it 58 or 53?
I wrote down 56 was the
56.
median
Median. There you
price
go.
of home buyers in the United States.
So you guys, if you're thinking about this and you think about like who you're targeting for these ads that you're running, consider that. You know, nearly 40 and nearly 60, if we're going to be really honest. If you're one of those two ages and you're sensitive, I don't mean to make you older than you are, but but it is, I mean, there's some different demographic type marketing to consider, right? Okay, thank you, Ty. That was awesome. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Andrea, we're going to flip to you really quickly because Jason Pantana does a lot of stuff with the Tom Ferry organization, amongst others. But I would say he's probably one of the premier marketing brains, particularly in our industry, that we've had in a long time. And Andrea knows a lot about him because she does a lot of work with him. So I sent her his slides this morning so that she could kind of take a look and share some of that stuff, because there are some tools that we have talked about here before, but we want to readdress them and make sure you're good to go. Is there specific things that stuck out to you, Andrea?
Absolutely. I mean, for Jason, he's one of our favorites, and talking about the marketing in the age of AI, right? And how to become the number one answer in your market. So he talked about how our industry has changed more in the last 18 months than it has in the last decade. The agents who are winning aren't just the ones who are posting the most, but they're the ones that are showing up in the right places, with the right message in the right time. And the visibility right now is the problem. So every agent is competing for the same set of eyeballs with the same keywords. And what they're finding is that a lot of consumers are searching now for their, best realtor near me instead of asking, their friends and family. So you're not just fighting other agents, you're fighting a lot of the algorithms. So modern marketing systems, they're thinking of, content and visibility and conversation. And so for this, the content that you're posting and putting out there on your social media is going to give you a lot of presence. And your visibility that you have on your TikToks and Instagram is going to earn you more traffic. And then with that, you're going to have the conversations that will get you these appointments that you need. So what we have to offer here, and that I would really love to, dive more into with you guys, is our Optimized 5. It is designed to help you reclaim your time and scale your marketing, stay visible without burning out, right? Because we could spend hours and hours putting together, all sorts of social media things. They are powered by AI. It is marketing operations systems to, really focus on real estate agents. They will effectively position yourself to attract both prospect clients and Google attention, which again, any attention at this point in a positive way will be really impactful in your business. So imagine creating a month of content, listings, reels, newsletters, emails, everything. They are going to connect into your CRM, your social media platform, and communication tools so that your outreach runs automatically. And this is what I love. Kim and I were kind of talking about this earlier this morning too. It's kind of a set it up and, set it and forget it, which is amazing. So you can really focus in on some of the other areas of your business and let this kind of run automatically for you. So some of the real impact that comes for you is consistency. That way it will show up for you online every day without fail. They will absolutely, allow to have some more efficiency, and it can cut 10 to 15 hours of admin work a week for you. So you can, again, redirect your focus on something else that needs to be more beneficial in your business right now. the visibility, you become the go-to agent in that market. With them being able to do a lot of these things for you and take a lot of the workload off for you, it's huge. It kind of will be a marketing on autopilot for you. So Optimize 5 automates the back end for your business for you. And it will create schedules for your social media, your videos, your posts, your campaigns, and it's all going to be branded to you, which is amazing. They will give you the systems, they will give you the tech support. And again, our number one thing is, get your time back. So they'll handle all the busy work for you. And
it's good.
Sorry, Kimberly,
no, I just was gonna say I had them do my review, and it was horrible, and so they fixed my things, and it's so much better now. And so I underutilize them for what they do. So if you guys have an interest in knowing more about this, reach out to Andrea, because Andrea can connect you, and you can at least learn more at a deeper level. I also wanted to share really quick with you guys. There's a place that I just put the information in the chat. It's haleo.com. So check that out, because that goes back to what we were talking about with what the companions are. And then the other thing, one of the things that I found in the expo was this thing called Utility Connect. And it's utilityconnect.net. And the person that I talked with, her name is Nicole. She was awesome. But what this is a free service. Do you hear my words? Free, and you get paid for it. They have a revenue share a component with real agents. And so if you sign up for this, it doesn't cost you anything, but it will basically go through when you have a listing or you have a buyer that's buying a particular house, you share the address with them, and they will pull all of the utilities that are connected to that house and give you all the phone numbers, all the information you need to know. I mean, it keeps going. I'll tell you, the schools, it does all sorts of really great things. I know we're out of time, so I don't want to take any more, but I put the information there. If you just let her know that you spoke with me and I was there, even if you weren't, because I think they had some special deals, but just tell them that you got turned on to them from me. I don't get anything for that. I want you to win, but I want her to give you stuff from the Rise conference. So that's why I want you to use my name. But it is free to you and it's free to your clients, and they get paid on the back end from all these utility companies and all the services they provide. They help. There's moving. I mean, it's a pretty extensive service that they provide. So if you want to be concierge level agents where you don't actually have to do the work, I think it's utilityconnect.net. So that part was free. Okay, you guys got a lot of information, a lot of talking heads today. I hope this was helpful. If you need anything or want to dig deeper, then let us. Yeah, sorry, did it put space in there on me? Oh yeah. Better yet, let's use the right letters. Thank you. Again, I appreciate it. Yeah. Anyway, if you guys have any more questions or you want to go deeper on any of this stuff, or you want to be pointed in the right direction, feel free to reach out. So happy to have you here today. I hope you have the best week ever. Happy Monday. Appreciate you guys.